Hi Class T, it's time for Chapter 6. The next day at school goes so slowly. Scott doesn't say a word. In class, he just sits and draws wolves. His wolves are always behind bars, thick black bars, that he scratches into the paper. I pick up Connor and Jakob on the way to the gasworks and catch up with the three others as they squeeze through the gap in the fence. We're more careful this time and we listen out for other people. We keep in the shadows as we slip alongside the red brick building and avoid the puddles left after a night's rain. Scott comes to a stop and frowns. We haven't heard him howl yet. Maybe he hasn't heard us, I say. Scott cups his hands and cries a soft howl that carries across the ground, but there's no answer from the wolf. Scott howls again, and we stand in silence and strain our ears to pick up a sound. Maybe he's asleep, Asher says. We make our way forward, but stop again. A police car and a large white van are parked on the far side of the fence. Let's come back later, says Asher. We don't want to be seen. We could get into trouble. We have to make sure they don't find our wolf, I say. Scott and I creep forward ahead of the others. As we turn and peer into the building, we see 4 people crowded around something on the ground. There are 2 policemen and 2 other men. One has a long pole with a hoop at the end, and the other is the man who took photos of Connor's notebook. One of the policemen takes a step back, and we all see a large wire cage. Inside the cage is our wolf. He fills up all the space, and he's fighting to find a way out. Before I can stop him, Scott runs towards the men, his feet flying across the ground. I don't know what to do, so I follow him and hear the others behind me. "Let him go!" yells Scott. He's trying to reach the cage, but one of the policemen holds him back. "Steady, lad," the policeman says. "There's a dangerous animal right here." "He's ours," yells Scott. "You can't take him." Scott is trying to break free, but the policeman is holding him firmly. Connor steps towards and juts his chin out. "He's our wolf! We found him!" Jakob nods. "Let him go," he shouts. I glance at Asher. It's over. We both know that. We can't stop them. They're going to take our wolf. They can't let him stay here. Luke knows this too. He takes hold of Scott. "Leave it, Scott. We can't stop them." "No!" yells Scott. He's fighting Luke now. They can't take him. They'll lock him up. He'll die. The wolf is twisting in the cage. He bites at the bars, trying to escape. Scott turns to me. "Don't let them take him, Izzy!" he shouts. "Don't let them!" There's nothing I can do. I stand back and watch the men lift and carry our wolf in the cage to the van. Connor presses his head against me. I feel his tears soak through my shirt. The men walk away with the cage and our wolf inside. We hear him howl. I want to howl back. I want to scream and shout, but the van doors slam shut, the engine revs up, and the van pulls away into the traffic. One of the policemen folds his arms and looks at us. "Didn't you read the signs? It's very dangerous to enter unsafe buildings. You're trespassing too." The other policeman takes out his notebook and pencil. "We'll need names and addresses. We'll have to speak to your parents and carers and your school about this." Jakob breaks into a sob, and Asher puts her arm around him. I hold back the tears until the policeman leads us out of the gasworks. Then I let myself cry. We walk in silence and go our separate ways. We can't come back here again ever. Even if we could, it wouldn't be the same. It's lost its magic. In no time, the developers will move in and rip it down and build their shops and offices. There'll be no space for the cormorant or the heron or Connor's beetles. And there'll be no space for us. What we had has been lost. Wolf has gone, and with him, the wild. So that's the end of chapter 6. Stay safe and keep washing those hands.